Hello, all the people I can't see because this light is blinding. Nice to not see you. So I'm excited about this theme for the evening, food, because I feel like the kitchen is the center of the family life, both the center of all the love and also all the contention. I'm going to focus on the latter because I think it's funnier. My husband would say it's because I'm just a negative person, but he's not here. So in case you didn't know, I live in a multi-generational, multi-ethnic household. My husband is Nepali from Bhutan, and as part of the agreement of our marriage, I agreed to live with his parents for the rest of my life. To explain this, I was 20 and he was really attractive. But anyway, yeah, I guess they're all right. But we're focusing on the bad stuff because that's funnier. So our kitchen, just to describe it for you, is this unfortunately small little galley kitchen. And galley really just means a hallway where you want to murder your family members. So we've got this little tiny galley kitchen. It's terribly ugly. We had all these dreams about the house, like we were gonna fix it. What kind of bullshit was that? It's a lie. It's all a lie. When your husband tells you we're gonna fix up the house and doesn't actually know how to fix things, it's bullshit. Anyway, so we got this little galley kitchen, and when we started having kids, we had this issue of, the kids wanted to like touch knives and hot shit, because kids are dumb. So we tried to find a gate for the kitchen that would prevent the children from death, because pregnancy is kind of an investment, and I really didn't feel like redoing it. So my father-in-law, when we couldn't find an appropriate gate, and I was super pregnant, and I was exhausted, and I was working. I came home from work one day, and my father-in-law was so proud of himself because he solved this problem. And the magical thing about Nepali people is they're so practical. So he found this screen that I had that was like my grandmother's, and let's be honest, it was a piece of crap. But my mother was sentimentally attached to it, and she's like a hoarder, and so she didn't want to get rid of it. So she gave it to me as like a family heirloom. It was a piece of shit. But he had cut it up to make a door, and he had used all these pieces of wood to make like a fence across the doorway of our kitchen, and then this piece of the screen was the door. My mother really likes to get mad, and so she really enjoyed coming over the next week to see what he'd done to her mother's screen. But anyway, so we put this screen up to block us. So my kitchen is like a death-defying experience, because when he built it, there's actually a bar at the bottom you have to step over. And people who are visiting our house never expect that, because that's a terrible freaking design. So they come in the kitchen, they're like, every time they, you might die. But yeah, so that's my kitchen. So this tiny galley kitchen with the gate of death that's just really unattractive. And there are 4 adults in my house. 4 adults. Me, my husband, his mother, and his father. And it's not a subject of today's talk, but producing children in that environment was challenging. But anyway, so we're all 4 in the kitchen at the same time, because for some reason I have this magic about me that whenever I enter the kitchen to cook, it's like a miracle because I hate cooking, but when I do, I'm like a magnet that attracts every other adult into the house, into the kitchen at the same time. They're like, oh, I see you're cooking Thanksgiving dinner. I think this is a great time for me to make chia, tea for our uninvited guests, and also to make rice. This seems like a good time for that. Also, I'm gonna let the kids into the kitchen. So your daughter can hide in the kitchen cabinet, and your son can scream about apple juice. I think if we can just fit every single person in the house into the kitchen, that would be awesome, right? That's the goal of my house. Let's see how many people we can fit into the galley kitchen, right? Yeah. So we've had a lot of good times in that kitchen. Cooking, ducking, There's a lot of this, like, we're both cooking on this same stove. And I'm like ducking under my mother-in-law and like stirring it and ducking to like, turn the meat over and like ducking. The oven is also a source of contention because Nepali people don't bake. They don't bake. That's not a thing that they do. So the oven, they're like, what is this thing for? Oh, it must be a cabinet to store everything imaginable. So every time I want to bake like, some bread, I open up the oven and there's like 55 pieces of equipment in there. I'm like, geez, people, like just somewhere else, store it somewhere else. So I had to take all the crap out. I preheat the oven. I go to the bathroom or like to get one of my kids from like, to prevent him from dying because he thinks it's cool to like jump off shit. That's what they do. And then my father-in-law will run in there and be like, oh, what's this mess? I must clean it up immediately. Let me just put all the pots and pans back in the preheated oven because I don't know what an oven is. So, and so I run in and I'm like, no, that's plastic. You can't put it in the oven. He's like, what are you doing? I'm going to bake things. Well, why aren't you doing it? Because Silas was doing circus tricks, okay? Like, I was busy for a minute. Relax, This is my life. And then like while I'm still baking, like, hey, how long does it take to bake this roast? Like 2 hours. Like, like when are you gonna clean up these pans? When the oven isn't hot, so that they don't melt. Okay. Yeah. So that's my life. Also, we tend to lose things. There's this cabinet in my kitchen that they refer to as Tiffany's cabinet. And anything they can't understand what it is, they put in the cabinet. Like, oh, I don't know what this is. It's often things that are related to the oven, because they don't use the oven, right? Like baking dishes. They're like, oh, we're just gonna put it in this cabinet. And then I swear, I've just written an article for the Akronist about my colander. It's titled, Where the Fuck is My Colander? And my searches for the colander have taken on epic proportions, like that they need to have a series about it. So I'll ask, like, where's my colander? And they're like, I don't know what that is. And then they bring me like this calendar from a Chinese restaurant in 2004 that I've twice thrown in the trash, and it's mysteriously reappeared on the wall of my guest bedroom. And I'm like, no, not a calendar, a colander. Metal bowls, holes in it. And I know how to say rain in Nepali, so I'm like, pani poryo, and they're like, what is wrong with you? Like, it's not raining. like I don't speak very good Nepali, okay? Meet me halfway. Where'd you put my shit? Anyway. And then we often find it in Tiffany's cabinet. I'm like, what is this Tiffany's cabinet? They're all my cabinets. I own the house.